right, Adam, I'm glad we have a third-party mediator on this episode. Simple Austin's here.
Simple Austin, you made it.
Simple Austin.
We missed you and you're here.
Now, we're going to be covering The Crow, so we figured since Simple Austin watched it with us the first time, he would be a good asset to comment on the movie tonight.
He's always an asset.
Now, keep in mind,
he's always an ass.
It was a great time. We watched it with the Patreon folks and our Discord club,
our Discord buddies
channel.
Follow us on Discord.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. I had a little too much fun, and notoriously, I had never seen The Crow, so we actually ended up watching it twice. Adam came back over. We watched it again without the distractions of all the shenanigans in the Discord.
It's like
channel.
deja vu, doing it all over again.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that night that Adam came over, this is where you come in, Austin. Basically, I put 10 shrimp on 8 skewers and grilled them.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. 10 shrimp
on each, 10 on each
10
skewer.
Each.
I thought you said 10 shrimp on 8 skewers.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, right? It's like, how many skewers you need for a shrimp?
It's a very weird superstition of mine.
I see.
No.
He's saying it backwards to try and not sound fat. What he's saying is he put 80 shrimp on the fucking grill. 80 of them.
I see. Okay.
It was on
shrimp.
sale.
80 shrimp.
Okay.
And then we ate them. We ate them all.
Oh, yeah.
We ate. Wait, what?
No. We ate them. Yes.
Yeah, they were eaten.
They were eaten. I didn't buy and cook 80 shrimp expecting us to eat it, but I'm also not surprised. But we were just kind of hanging out, right? We were just hanging out in the kitchen and talking.
That's 40 each, right?
Well, Sarah ate,
to be fair.
8.
Sarah ate 8.
Oh, these are rookie numbers, guys.
Really?
Yeah. All you can eat shrimp at Red Lobster?
Right. I mean, think about what you could do, the damage you could do in an all-you-can-eat bar, right?
Okay. I feel less shameful now.
But I don't know why you felt ashamed. You brought this out. You brought this out of a place of shame, Bobby. Where in reality, this should be a point of pride.
This is a point of pride.
This is a point of pride.
So, my husband, 1 year. Okay, so every year I take him to Red Lobster. It's the one time of the year for my birthday that we're allowed to go to Red Lobster because I fucking love Red Lobster.
You choose Red Lobster for your birthday?
That's what I like.
Have you been to Red Lobster recently? It's not that good anymore.
You know,
it never really was.
Was it ever good?
I don't know.
It's a good value, I guess.
It always seemed hoity-toity when I was a kid because they had.
When I think of seafood, I want to think good value.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's what you want in your seafood.
But yeah, so okay, he had food poisoning the night before.
Oh.
And then he wakes up, and I was like,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did y'all eat at Red Lobster the night before?
No, this was before Red Lobster. So
they only get it once, Bobby. Remember, they only get it once. Pre-Red Lobster. What do you get the food poisoning from?
We don't know, but he had food poisoning. He wakes up, and I'm like, hey, so are we still gonna go to Red Lobster? And he's like, really? And I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna go if you're not gonna go. He's like, fine. So he goes, and we do the endless shrimp. How many shrimp? Given that he had food poisoning, how many shrimp do you think he ate?
32.
And he's like a pretty fit guy.
He's a fit dude.
He's tall.
And he had food poisoning the night before, so he was on an empty stomach.
He's a dude. Yeah.
Decided to roll the dice on Red Lobster of not getting food poisoning.
So how many do you think?
How big are the shrimp?
It was all varieties. It was like shrimp scampies. He did, you gotta
listen. I know this story's gonna end with you trying to make us look like assholes. So just fucking tell us how many goddamn shrimp.
Well, I'm gonna guess. Considering the context of this conversation, I'm gonna guess that it's more than you would maybe expect. So I'm gonna say 40.
He ate 67 shrimp.
Jesus Christ.
67.
Now, to just
were some of them the little tiny kind of cocktail-y popcorn shrimp?
These were good medium-sized to big-sized shrimp.
Right.
And he thought that was like
astronomical.
No, he was like, oh, I just couldn't do anymore. I had food poisoning. Because I forget what his numbers were before that.
Oh, so this dude's your husband's like a fucking, he wins like hot dog eating contests and shit. I'm not making a euphemism here. I mean, like, he's a professional eater, obviously. Oh, I've done more than 67 before. You're calling us fucking amateurs, is what you're saying.
Your husband
he's calling us amateurs, Bobby.
Is your husband an orca by chance?
I knew this is a fucking rib.
He might be. No, so this is all I'm saying is 36 shrimp a piece. I think that's not shameful. That is in the clearly not shameful category.
Don't look at me.
I felt good about the story.
You thought it was.
I felt good about this story going in, and now I feel like even more of an asshole thanks to him.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
That's why I come here.
Because we didn't eat as many shrimp as Eric did.
Right.
You feel like an asshole.
Okay, listen. I'll just say this.
It's a weird thing to shame yourself.
Had there been more shrimp, we obviously would have ate more shrimp. I mean, we ate a whole thing of guacamole. We ate a whole bag of chips.
The point is, we weren't really paying attention, and we looked up, and the shrimp was gone.
Do y'all even like shrimp? I mean, like, I don't.
Apparently we do.
Why did you want him to mediate this? Is this what you're
Well,
looking for?
the main thing I wanted him to mediate, okay, the point is we had a shitload of shrimp. I learned online that if you cook the shrimp with the shell on the grill, that's where it retains the flavor. That's where the flavor gets cooked out of and put into the shrimp meat itself. Now, exoskeleton to one crude rude dude is part of the meal as well.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Adam he calls the tail the potato chip of the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He knows.
The
He's
Frito
chips
of the sea.
Yeah, Fritos of the sea, chips of the sea. I never said potato chips or Fritos, but they both work. It totally works.
And your large
Season them
intestine is
however
just
you
like a angry Jack Palance.
I mean, I shit a lot and it comes out just fine. Pizza's what gets me, not shrimp tails. But anywho,
so now you eat shrimp tails.
I eat shrimp tails, and so I figured, hey, this has got the shell on. I'll just eat the shell too. And I ate one with the shell. I'm like, no. I wanted that's a bit much. That's a little bit much. I need to take that off. So we had 72 shrimp or 74 shrimp between the two of us or whatever, right? And they were shelled. So we were staying there deshelling them. Like the original idea was we were gonna make tacos.
I made a couple tacos.
Yeah, I made a couple tacos.
Took some maintenance.
Mm-hmm. We had the tacos, the tortillas, some guacamole. You just put that in there, but after a while, we just realized as we're peeling these shrimp, there was so much work involved. Like you just want to pop it in your mouth.
Right, and I also realized, at least subconsciously, if I eat more tortillas and other shit, I can eat less shrimp.
You eat more shrimp. More shrimp, less tortillas.
It's like when you go to an Italian buffet, don't fill up on breadsticks.
It's like when Eric goes to goddamn Red Lobster. You don't eat anything but shrimp.
The rookie move is to get the fried shrimp because it's got all that breading.
Yeah.
You just got to get the scampi.
Have you ever eaten Mexican food and just kind of failed to eat the tortilla chips on the table? Right?
No.
It's really like a reasonable portion of food if you don't.
But usually they bring the
basket of
tortilla
chips.
chips out first.
I know, but I'm saying if
So
you've
it's like
ever
a
just,
snack
for whatever reason, skipped that part. But anyway, I want to get back to this. Adam, so what are your thoughts on Adam eating the shrimp tails of shrimp?
You know, I like it. I like it because I imagine he's using every part of the shrimp. That's great.
Right.
Yeah, you're like a Native American.
Yeah.
From the
Circle of
Northwest.
life. Circle of life, bro.
I am imagining. You know what? No, I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
All right, I'm imagining a toilet, a scratchy butthole, and a toilet bowl full of shrimp tail.
No, I mean, they digest.
You can't have an itchy butthole when it scratches itself.
It scratches itself on the way out. It's great. You know? They're like fingernails for your insides.
That's the title of Crude Rude Dude's autobiography.
I gotta start eating shrimp tails now. Yeah.
That's not the title of my autobiography, but it'll be the subtitle, at least the subtext of it. So,
speaking of buttholes, that Dune popcorn bucket's really taken off.
Why are we talking about that? We didn't get one.
I tried very hard. I texted 17. This is not a lie. I texted 17 people.
True story, folks. I
posted in 3 public Discord saying, I know this is insane, but I'm trying to get a Dune popcorn bucket by 7 p.m. tonight. Does anyone have a hookup? In Magic the Gathering Discords as well, which have no relation to a Dune popcorn bucket.
Nerd.
I mean, they could.
Dune
I mean, there's just a shot of getting a Dune popcorn bucket in that Discord group
That's
than
true.
any other.
I figured if anywhere was going to have one, some Magic the Gathering nerd is going to have one. And then I called 6 different locations and got laughed at 3 times.
You know,
Austin, so they acted like this is the first phone call they got about this?
I called Uncommon Objects on South Congress and said, do you happen to I know this is a stretch, but do you happen to have the Dune popcorn bucket? And the guy laughed out loud and went, well, we more have things from the 60s and 70s.
Thrill me. You know, there's gorillas in these woods.
Mortis, what's that?
It's all in the reflexes.
Chicken's good. I like chicken.
I'd buy that for $1.
Die in the wind.
Die in the wind.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
I drink your milkshake.
Carpet Day!
You make me want to be a better man.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know
what the fuck you're doing with my time?
See you at the party, Richter.
Jesus, awesome. You know, you also got to realize
It's a humor.
going onto these discords and it's like, I need it now. Like, you kind of could come across as a pervert. Like, I'm sure a lot of these people thought that you
I don't think he
wanted
cares.
the dune bucket so you could fuck the dune bucket.
I had this image in my mind of showing up, not telling y'all that I had it, and then bringing it
You were
out.
just fucking it.
and then
walked in
just
the door
fucking in front of you.
with a handful of Taiwanese food.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you got fucking Thai food in one hand and a bucket on your dick. Be great.
I mean, I thought it would have been a great. It would have been so perfect. I wouldn't have put so much energy into it, except it would have been perfect to pull it out. And yet, it's not here. But you know, can't win them all.
No,
Ross,
can I get gross for a second about the Dune butthole bucket?
Sure. It looks like a sarlacc. It looks like a.
It does look like a
sarlacc.
well, a sarlacc is always.
It
kinda
looks like
look
Adam's butthole after it's been torn up by shrimp tails.
Kinda.
Yeah, it's got worms and shit.
Mm-hmm. No, those are skin tags.
It's not for everyone, folks. That's the name of this podcast.
You know, there's way too much talk about my butthole on this episode. Could you keep my butthole out of your fucking mouth?
You're the one
Austin.
that keeps bringing
Well,
it up.
I mean,
We're talking about Dune. We're a movie podcast here to talk about Dune 2. Have either of you guys seen that?
No.
but, so you brought it
No,
up.
we're not. We can't do a review on this till we've watched it, Bobby.
Hold on. What?
What did you want to say about the Dune popcorn?
Well, I was just I just wanted you to tell that story.
Oh, okay.
And then I also was going to ask about that. Any other notable reactions from people that you called?
I did. I mean, I got a bunch of eggplant popcorn bucket and peach emojis on my thing
On your Discord?
on the Discord. One group was having a completely separate conversation, and then I just in the middle of their conversation while they're all typing
They're like
in,
discussing NAFTA.
yeah, like they were talking about some kind of like. She was like trying to apply for a job or something. And then in the middle of it, I'm just like, insane request. I need a Dune popcorn bucket by 7 p.m. I will trade very well for this popcorn bucket.
It's really funny because I think about that in context of the real world. You just slam Kool-Aid slam into a room.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid Man style of people talking about something. And I just see you yelling that at people talking about something unrelated.
I needed a popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Need that fucking Dune popcorn bucket. And you didn't get it, Austin. Had you had more time, or had you tried last week when the movie came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have. That might have worked.
Well, it's got so viral and all that. So
They've had hats about fucking the popcorn bucket before the movie came out. Or even released.
I predict that viral popcorn buckets is going to be tried again at some point.
I bet like in 30 years, it'll be like viral popcorn bucket for president. Like we're going that direction.
That's true.
Fucking idiocracy all the way. Viral.
I would
bucket.
vote for the Dune fuck bucket.
It's like, oh, vote for me.
No, it
I
doesn't even
love
talk.
you.
It's just that thing.
It's just sitting there.
It's
You're like,
just
yep.
sitting there like, yeah, that'll do.
Just put your vote in it. Put your vote right in the top. I'll dip my ballot in there.
No, I know you say that jokingly, but what if, like, say for instance, Dune at some point in the future got so idiotic that the movie Dune, sponsored a voting location,
right?
And so like the ballot boxes are brought to you by the butthole monster from Dune.
You know what's scary is
just vote for sandworms. People.
5 years ago, I'd have been like,
I'd vote
Bobby,
for
that's never gonna happen. Now I'm like, that is more likely to happen than not happen.
Yeah,
I think it's
more
completely
likely to
possible.
happen.
It's like 57% to happen as opposed to 0%.
Yeah, big budget sponsored voting booths where
What else could you do? You could do like
make it like a roller coaster ride.
You could do like what's that stuff called? Fiddle Faddle. This voting booth is brought to you by Fiddle Faddle, the old caramel popcorn.
Did they have the money to put into?
It's like a poor man's Cracker Jack.
When did you
Fiddle
eat
Faddle?
When did you eat Fiddle Faddle in your life?
What is Fiddle Faddle?
You never had Fiddle Faddle?
No, Bobby, no.
Well, that's why that
joke fucking fell flat.
No, bullshit. People out there know what I'm talking about.
No,
Fiddle Faddle.
Who the fuck knows what Fiddle Faddle? I think my grandma even knows about
Fiddle Faddle sounds like a gay slur.
Ask your grandma if she remembers.
My grandma's dead, Bobby.
Well, summon her with a Ouija board and say, "Hey, Grandma, real quick question. Do you remember Fiddle Faddle?"
I don't have any Fiddle Faddle, but I have some Werther's Originals for you.
My grandma did have Cracker Cracker Jack from time to time.
Yeah, she probably tried Fiddle Faddle from time to
They
time.
bought the boxes.
I guess what I'm trying to ask you,
maybe they
Adam,
were
this is a
ritzy. Maybe I
roundabout
was
way to
richer
ask
than we
you.
thought.
I'm glad your grandma's in heaven right now eating Fiddle Faddle out of
Nobody
one of
said
those
she was in
Dune,
heaven.
one of
She's
those
eating-
Dune butthole cups. That's what your
I love you,
grandma's-
Nanny. She's watching over me from above. She's like, I love you too, honey. She's just eating that Fiddle Faddle.
You're listening to the Not For Everyone podcast. My name is Snobby Bobby. We're on the SS Nonsense tonight.
Waka waka.
Right in front of me, Crude Rude Dude, or as I like to call him now, the never-ending horny. Da, 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 da.
I mean, listen, sometimes I get a little heated up and it's got to release that energy.
No, the other
Release
day I
the
was
steam.
I don't have the popcorn bucket, Adam. I
know,
told you.
and you got me all worked up for nothing.
the other day I was walking
Balls
around the
are
house
turning
just
over
like
here.
doing things, and I was
Mhm.
singing like untalented Weird Al versions of songs, and one of
Okay.
them was the never-ending horny.
It's good.
And I
It's
thought
good.
to myself, that's a decent nickname.
It's a
for-
decent nickname. Well, I'll tell you something. My favorite nickname I ever received from this here podcast. You know what it is? Y'all know what it is, right?
Dipshit.
That was long before this. The Pork Chop Moon Man.
Mhm.
Gotta say, it's the best. I get coffee delivered to my house from Fox and Sons, addressed to Pork Chop Moon Man
Wow.
on your husband's Hulu account, because Austin was kind enough to give me his husband's Hulu account.
Does he know about this?
Yes.
Well, he knows that I was gonna put my name as Austin's side piece.
I wanted that.
I know, but I was like, no, I'm gonna put Pork Chop Moon Man. Pork Chop Moon Man.
Can we try Austin's side piece out as a nickname?
No,
Is that not happening?
Austin. No, it's not happening.
Welcome to the Not For Everyone podcast. We have Austin's side
What,
piece
what,
here.
if, what if we just send you? What if we sent
All right,
you a
that sounds
Dune
pretty
popcorn bucket addressed to your house, but to my favorite boy? Here's a Dune popcorn. bucket.
If you send me a free Dune popcorn bucket, you can call me whatever you want.
I mean, I'm sure the resale on eBay, it's there. Like,
They're
look at it on eBay.
$80.
$80.
They're $80 on eBay right now.
Capitalism,
I
bro.
was because I was like looking on Craigslist and eBay as well, and I was like, "Is there any way,
Dude, Facebook, what's it called? Marketplace.
I know. I
hate
checked.
sponsors.
I checked it
Zuckerberg.
all.
Cut that shit out.
Well,
Cut
we'll
that
keep
out.
you guys updated in the future if we ever come across one, and you keep us updated as well.
Yeah. If you come across
We
one,
want a full review, and you know what I mean.
and you gotta fuck that bucket. Don't show us you fucking that bucket.
You could probably use it as like a camping toilet too. A
Yeah.
decent camping toilet.
Yeah. It's like kind of like a bidet. You just shake it around down there.
No, it's just like
Flapping,
ultimately, what are you doing? You're shitting
flapping
inside
your
of a
bottom
hole,
jowls.
inside of a hole and
Yeah.
of a container of a bigger hole. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. So you want to shit in it.
I didn't say that.
You
I'm saying
said
it would be. It
you
would
wanna
all.
shit
It's
in the fuck
multifunctional. Is all
You
I'm
want to
saying.
shit in the fuck bucket, Bobby.
Most
There's always
people see
somebody.
that bucket, they think one thing. Bobby sees it, he's like, "That'd be a nice place to take a shit."
I mean, priorities, people. But yeah, we got Simple Austin with us
Yeah.
tonight.
Simple
Fresh off
Austin.
the hunt, back from the hunt, a failed hunt, unfortunately,
for
the Dune.
for the Dune fuck bucket.
Fuck
Yeah.
bucket.
I try.
Fuck
I
it.
really,
I'm Mr.
really
Fuck
try.
It.
I mean, I gotta imagine like whoever designed that did not expect it to.
No, I guarantee that was all intentional.
Oh, that was 100% intentional.
You said this is all. You think this is all corporate? Like totally.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Like
someone
this-
came up with the idea. The first person who saw it went, "That's a chair." Wait.
I think it was intentional from the beginning.
You think so?
Yeah.
But like remember like the weird Grimace's birthday shake became a thing
Yeah.
a few months ago.
I never really cared about that.
I'm just saying it's like that's a thing in marketing now where they're like, let's make something weird as fuck or gross.
Right.
They're gonna re-release the Two Towers. It's gonna be two like
Just two
giant. They're gonna be like, "What? It's just the Two Towers."
This is the Two Towers.
Wink, wink.
I mean,
It's made
Disney
out of
did that with
soft
the Little
silicone.
Mermaid in the 90s.
Fits right in. You.
Yep.
Oh yeah. There's just dicks on everything.
Never forget.
Never forget dicks on the fucking.
I remember I
mermaids.
was at a sleepover and we were talking about that, and then someone went and grabbed the VHS, and we're like, "No way, you're full of shit." And then like we saw it, and it was literally the funniest fucking like heaving with laughter all night. And then if you stop laughing, you go look at it again, and then laugh and laugh.
Ah, to be a little kid again.
Yeah,
I remember
Laughing at
reading
dicks.
about the artist. It never gets old.
It is still pretty goddamn funny.
Every time I go to pee, I just go.
Look at you fucking dick.
No, I remember reading the artist was like,
mine's
they,
like
they
not
asked him,
again.
they asked if it was intentional. He was like, "No, but I see it. Yeah,
Oh,
I
it was.
see it."
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's like the guy With the actor Wes from Road Warrior.
Oh yeah, the guy we met. We met him, Adam. Remember, we met him.
Vernon
Troyer.
No.
Vernon.
No.
They need a Vern Troyer popcorn bucket.
They're gonna re-release Austin Powers in the theaters, I heard, this summer, and it's gonna have a mini me popcorn bucket.
It comes
Fuck
in.
puppet.
Well, it's just a tiny coffin.
It would hold a lot of popcorn.
Oh man, this has just gone so wrong, so quickly.
I mean, we're talking about it. So
Vernon Wells.
Vernon Wells. Yeah, he did not find you amusing at all.
No, I know, it was great. I was dressed like a Miami Vice villain.
He did the thing like you were like, hey, let us get in touch with you to interview you one day. He's like, yeah, here's my email address. I'm like, that email address is that's not going anywhere.
It's like gmall.com.
Mr. Hands at jamal.com.
Yeah, it didn't really work. But yeah, Vernon Wells, like when he asked about Commando, because he was in No Chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Commando, Vernon Wells' character is very, very gay. You've seen the movie, right? You know what I'm talking about. And like they asked him like afterwards, like, well, did you not realize how gay your character was? He's like, nah, I didn't see it. It just seemed like a macho guy at the time. And
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. That's just how it was.
Yep.
I don't know where I was going with that.
God bless Vernon Wells. I think it's time to go to movie recap.
Movie recap.
Hey, Austin, guests go first.
All right.
Guests go first, and you're the guest, Austin.
So I wanted to talk about a movie I saw. It was my favorite movie of last year, a movie called Dream Scenario, starring who I now consider to be the greatest American actor, unironically, I'm not saying this with any sarcasm, Nicolas Cage.
Sir Nicolas Cage.
Sir Nicolas Cage.
Is he knighted?
No, he should be in America.
So
he's a knight of goddamn America.
He really should be.
Yeah.
If they were going to give...
I don't think they knight people that aren't British.
No, I mean saying an American knight. He didn't count as, we're not these British cunts.
What we're saying is if Nicolas Cage was British, he would have been knighted by now.
I mean...
With Sir Elton John and I believe Roger Daltrey.
He's way better than either of those two people.
I mean...
In general.
I listen, I will go so far as to say Nicolas Cage is better than Elton John.
So here's my argument about why...
That's a really good one, to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's a contest. Look, I like Elton John as much as the next gay guy, but like, okay, Nicolas Cage, the range on this man. So in Dream Scenario, he plays a mild-mannered professor.
Right.
Who starts, and this is only a minor.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I won't spoil it. But the point is, you actually forget you're watching Nicolas Cage at points in this movie.
Right.
He's just you forget, like, this dude won an Oscar for a dramatic performance. This is also the same guy who was in Face Off playing not only himself, but John Travolta.
Yeah, he was John Travolta.
He was a better John Travolta than John Travolta was. And so as I'm watching Dream Scenario, I just had this epiphany. This is the greatest American actor. I couldn't think of a single male or female that even comes close. Like Port of Call, New Orleans, and then The Rock. Like, who's got that kind of range?
As you said, that statement is a lot like a magic eye, because at first I heard it and I was trying to see where you're, and the more I think about it,
the guy's in everything.
Your argument grows stronger, I think.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I racked my brain and I was like, no, Nicolas Cage could probably do that. Adaptation. And then
Lords of War.
Yeah. And then but for every one of those, there's like, a Mandy or, just there's so many.
The Wicker Man.
Or the Wicker
Dracula.
Man. The bees, not the bees. Like,
or Valley Girl.
Raising Arizona.
Are we just naming?
We're just naming
Las
great
Vegas.
movies.
We're just going to name Nicolas Cage movies for the rest of the episode. Look,
what about Wild at Heart?
But I think it's a statement that sounds controversial until you start to think about it. And then you're like, wait, that's actually not that controversial.
So Dream Scenario is a film that made you realize that Nicolas Cage is the greatest American actor.
Since you won't let me talk about the movie at all,
that's a pretty ringing endorsement.
Great.
What other movies has Nick Cage been in?
He was in.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
It's fantastic. These were not spoilers. These are just textures of the movie.
Sure.
It's screamingly hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking terrifying. Abysmally bleak, and then like really, really just amusing and funny. Like all wrapped up into one.
But let me ask you this, because Nick Cage does have these on his record now. Is it flirting with so bad it's good?
No, this is just like a
Just a
legit
good movie.
ass great movie.
I didn't like the Truffle Pig movie.
I didn't like Truffle Pig movie either.
I didn't like that movie.
I didn't like
didn't
it.
see it.
Nicolas Cage and the Truffle Pig gang.
We went and saw that in Utah.
Yeah.
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 It looked like it was going to be John
What's it
Wick
called?
with a pig.
It looked like it was going to be
Truffle
John Wick with pig. It's called Pig. Pig.
Pig.
Starring Nicolas Cage. Pig.
Mm.
It didn't really have that much
The
fighting.
pig didn't even talk.
Not even once. Not even once. Pig fucking dies. Guess what? Spoiler. Pig's dead. Fucking movie.
Just
And I
like
bet it was-
Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
No, that was the spider.
I didn't like
was the
that movie, but
spider.
you know what? I didn't not like that movie because of Nick Cage. Like Nick Cage is always great.
Yeah.
Nick Cage wasn't in Charlotte's Web.
He was the fucking spider.
He was Templeton the Rat.
He was Charlotte.
No,
he was
Charlotte
Char-
was played by like Liza Minnelli or
I
something.
thought it was
like that.
Blanche from the Golden Girls.
It was Blanche from the Golden
Oh.
Girls. Was it?
No,
I think that's more accurate than my Liza Minnelli.
Yes, it was totally Blanche. We're gonna go with Blanche.
Well, anyway, Dream Scenario, fantastic movie.
Okay.
Must watch. Favorite movie last year, even more than Barbie. But no, just kidding. No, it was great, and I don't think it won any awards. Not that that matters.
This
but
is all streaming now.
I don't know if it's streaming or
money.
not yet. But if it does come on streaming, it came out kind of into last year. I saw it early this year.
I bet you could pay for it.
Go see it. It's
Word.
Word. It's a good one. So I watched a newer movie. Pretty new. Actually, I think it just won an Oscar for something. It's that new movie that looks like it's just a remake of Frankenhooker, but it's so much more. Poor Things. Directed by
Yorgos Lanthimos.
That's exactly who directed it.
Mm.
And it stars Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe
Mm.
and Mark Ruffalo.
Mm.
And it's about a girl who's a Frankenstein girl who's brought back by Willem Dafoe. And just, I don't want to give away the whole movie. I want you to say something about it too, Austin, because I know you've seen this movie. I don't want to give it all away.
If you were to just name to me Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe,
Mark Ruffalo.
and you said, which one of these
3
actors would you think is a necromancer in this movie?
Yeah.
I would immediately say probably Willem Dafoe.
He's not a necromancer per se. He's a Frankensteiner.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
tomato.
Yeah, but he's all Frankensteined up himself. Like he's all scarred and mutilated and like has just like horrible. His face looks like a dog's face. Like a
Is this one of
dog
these
face.
movies that's like for the Hot Topic kids of the future?
Possibly. It could be. No,
I don't think so.
No.
I think it to me it's like Jodorowsky light.
For me, it's like
I like the sound of that.
pervy kids like Nightmare Before Christmas. I think you're right. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like Hot Topic in this shit.
It's a hip movie though, right? Like it's
hip.
it's pretty hip, right?
Well,
I don't know what you mean hip.
I mean, the thing is, it's not like it's only good because it's the flavor of the day or whatever. Like it's a
Right.
legitimately great movie.
right.
If you it really watches like a Jodorowsky movie in the sense that the visuals are really crazy and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The plot is really eclectic and eccentric, and then it's just a really like it's funny, but it's also like sad and fascinating and like really great movie. It's very fantastical.
Very
so
fantastical.
it's not like a boring movie.
It looks spectacular. Like the scenes, the set pieces, it all looks like something from the 60s, you know? Like they built like fucking Jodorowsky. It looks like
Almost like a Dr. Phibes vibes.
kinda. It's got some Del Toro just the braveness of the visuals.
And apparently a lot of
Courage,
those sets were
courage.
practical, or like
Yeah.
almost all of them were.
Yeah. And like the sky in the background just looked amazing.
I'm going to be
every
honest. I've
time.
only heard like little buzzes about this movie. I've never done any kind of.
It's
I
good.
didn't watch the
It's-
trailer
It's
or
on
anything.
Hulu now.
It's also really fucking pervy.
Yeah,
Like it's a
yeah.
pervy ass movie.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's got
Sold,
an edge to it.
sold.
It's got a little edge.
Mhm. Well, when I watched it, this was yesterday. I just watched it yesterday.
Is it kind of John Watersy in that sense?
No.
Okay.
But what's beautiful
you just
about
need to
it
watch it.
is the whole way it's filmed. Like when you're looking at the screen, there's always something off. So you'll have the main character centered, and everything around it is kind of blurry. Like the background's kind of blurry. The way the camera angles are like weird fish eye, like wide lens and stuff. So every time you're looking at the screen, for the most part, it just looks kind of off, which is great. Which is Amazing cinematography. It's a great little story. You know, it's kind of Frankenstein-y. It's got Willem Dafoe says one of my favorite lines I've ever heard in a movie, and I'm not going to say it here because it gives away too much. But you should watch Poor Things, Bobby. It won some Oscar. I don't fucking know.
Both Austin and Crude Rude Dude endorse Poor Things. Now,
Pork Chop Moon Man.
You guys saw some pretty revered films recently. I got to say, as did I. Okay. Definitely not as modern as your revered film, but the revered film that I watched recently, I'm just going to give you the plot. Don't say if you know the answer. A porn star is sent back to Earth to help a teenager get laid.
Is it Michael Cimino?
Stars Patrick Dempsey and that broad from MASH. Little movie called Meatballs 3.
Oh.
Meatballs 3 Summer Job.
Wow.
Summer Job.
Is that really the plot of the movie?
It is the plot of the movie.
Oh.
And it's one of those things where it was, you know, they wrote it not to be a Meatballs movie. Then they're like, this script will work for Meatballs 3.
How many of those Meatballs movies do you think weren't written to be Meatballs movies?
Probably just that one.
So, but wasn't Meatballs just written to be a Porky's movie?
No, I think I think that was just the genre of the day. And Meatballs isn't as...
It's like tame. Right?
Yeah. Meatballs like I watched when I was like a kid.
Well, you couldn't watch Porky's when you were a kid?
It's not that I couldn't. I didn't though. Like my
So
parents
wait,
weren't going
aren't
out of
those
their way
like
to be
this-
like, here, watch Porky's.
Which came first?
That's a good question.
Porky's or Meatballs?
I'm almost certain Porky's came first.
Yeah.
Because Porky's the one with like the glory hole on the, at least on the cover.
It was a
Voyeurism.
spy hole.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
It was a
So-
glory hole, dude. It was a fucking glory hole.
Speaking of everything that you guys are talking about,
Yeah.
we have those scenarios of 80s comedies.
So it's really rapey.
that's uncomfortable, let's say, by today's standards, which is probably a good thing. But so you have like Animal House, you have Revenge of the Nerds,
Right.
with the
Yeah.
angel and the devil,
The
and
Darth Vader
Animal
mask.
House, and then the Darth Vader mask and Revenge of. So this one has a similar moment that comes in the form of a line of dialogue.
Mm.
As the woman, the dead porn star ghost, is amping up Patrick Dempsey to go back into the fucking party or whatever and try to get laid.
Right.
She says to him as he walks away, "Now remember, kid, no means yes."
Oh, wow.
And I mean, to be fair, it loops back around. It's like it got into some wacky, shenanigans. It's like, well, maybe no doesn't always mean yes. But just the fact that that was in a movie, I was like, man, that is like, this is the new champion, I think. And that's why you can't find it anywhere but YouTube's bootleg.
But if the moral of the story was he learns that no means no, then it's a woke movie.
Right. But the person that's not raping is woke. Okay. Cool.
I mean, I'm just saying from like a salesman perspective, like you can't take the first no, you know?
We're going to cut all this out. We're
What?
cutting all this out.
What? Oh wait, this is bad. You know, if I took the first no for an answer, I'd fucking still be a virgin. You know what I mean? Like I
In a
always got
sales
consent.
context.
In a sales context.
In a
contest.
sales
And as a
context.
salesman, if I'm calling somebody up or if I'm making a sale and they say no,
Yes.
it's an objection, and then you overcome the objection.
Sure.
And then you're not supposed to do
I
that.
think context
But
is
you don't
really
think that's what
the
she meant?
important word
Great
of the
point, Adam.
You don't
Great
think
point,
that's, you
Adam.
don't think
You're
that's
right
what
there.
meant the
You're
girl
right
from
there.
MASH meant? I think that's what she was talking
Well,
about.
it was just an interesting kind of cross section of that time and place because there's this older porn star woman telling young Patrick, who's like probably 14 in this movie.
Okay. He's
But,
getting ass. Yeah, he's 14. He's getting
So
ass.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Did
I-
her boobies squirt ectoplasm?
Yeah.
No, that would have made it.
Did
Definitely
it
made
show her
better.
boobs?
No, it wasn't that. I mean, it definitely had.
It wasn't Porky's.
Well, it definitely had some, TNA in it, as all those movies do, but not that specific actress.
Okay.
Even though she played a porn star.
Right. You think you get some.
I forgot what is her name is. You guys have seen her before.
Barbara Mandel.
Oh God.
Is it really?
No, it's
Howie Mandel's wife,
Yeah.
Barbara Mandel.
It's his aunt.
Oh.
Howie Mandel's hot aunt.
I had my Brazilian friend. We were watching Tropic Thunder, and they were referencing titty comedies, and he goes, "What is a titty comedy?"
Sally Kellerman from MASH. This lady.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Barbara-
that lady.
Yeah, she was the love
Barbara
interest of
Mandrell.
Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School.
I definitely
Ugh.
envision her when I think of a porn star.
Right.
Yeah.
I see her more
So
as
it's kind
Rodney
of like
Dangerfield's
it's like
girlfriend.
it's like the perfect junction of Porky's and Ghost Dad.
Yeah. I guess so. It's really
Meatballs
encompasses
3. So
that-
much.
There's nothing new
That
under the
era.
sun.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all been done, as the bare naked lady said.
Well, that's just magnificent. I'm glad that you watched that. What did you watch, Austin?
So we'll rewind a little bit to the 80s. I
Take it back.
rewatched a film that I watched a million times as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The sequel to this movie is famously on this podcast one of my favorite movies of all time. But I realized that this movie is actually better than that movie. That movie is Manhunter.
Oh, yes. I thought you were about to say City Slickers 2.
No,
the sequel's better. No, just kidding.
Michael Mann's Manhunter.
Michael
Mann's
Manhunter.
Manhunter. I think that movie, not only is it brilliant, but I actually think it's a better movie than Silence of the Lambs, which is saying a lot because I love Silence of the Lambs. Manhunter, it's so beautifully filmed. It's so scary and intense. Tom Noonan.
Brian
is-
Cox as Hannibal Lecter.
Brian Cox is Hannibal Lecter, who
Bill-
arguably puts in a better performance than Mr.
I'd say-
Bill Peterson too. Everybody fucking. I don't know what happened to that guy, but he's fucking great.
Yeah.
as the leading man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dennis Farina. I mean, there are a ton of people in that movie. The dude from Don't Breathe.
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang is in it.
Mhm.
Like, it's just got a bunch of people.
Dennis Farina.
Mm-hmm.
But I found myself like
Oh, Denny Farina.
transfixed that like 80s synthy score. It's a very like 80s movie, but in the best kind of way where you remember like this is what an 80s movie, why the 80s were good.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Well, it's movies like that, and
It's hypnotic.
and To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
those 80s
Michael Mann-
fucking
or no, that's William
no, that's
Friedkin.
William Friedkin, but it's Bill Peterson's. William
Yeah.
Peterson's the main guy, and just that whole 80s.
Those movies are
vibe.
slow, but they take their time, like, which enhances it, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
the whole
And that's
part with Tom Noonan's blind girlfriend.
yeah.
Oh my
Where
god,
she's
it's
like
great.
laying on the sleeping tiger and it's like a real tiger. Like nowadays that shit would be
the
CGI.
Inagata
wouldn't-
Davida scene
Yeah.
at the end with the
It's so good. And then like the weird double jump cuts where he's like blowing away cops with a shotgun and it kind of doesn't work, but it does. 'cause
it
it's-
works because it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just such a
Michael
great,
Mann did the screenplay too.
And look at that poster.
That's a great
Look
poster.
at that poster.
The
That
only thing I
poster
don't like about
it.
Manhunter, the only thing
Mhm.
is the name. I wish they just called it Red Dragon, and I wish that Brett Ratner had never defiled the good name of that movie with his entry.
I didn't think that
I
Red
like
Dragon
Red
was
Dragon.
that bad, but it's no fucking Manhunter.
I've always liked Red Dragon.
I think it's because by the time Red Dragon had come out, I had watched Manhunter. Like I was obsessed with
I could see
Hannibal
that.
Lecter.
I definitely saw
And
Red
then-
Dragon before Manhunter.
Yeah.
You know what? My dad was like, I was watching Manhunter or Red Dragon. He's like, well, you should go rent fucking Manhunter, and I did. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
You're right.
Oh, Dollarhide. His name was Dollarhide, right?
The Tooth Fairy, Francis
Yeah,
Dollarhide.
Yeah, Francis Dollarhide.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. So actually, that movie I watched it a year or two ago, and my kid, fucking King, he sat there and he watched the whole movie of Manhunter with me, and I was like, wow. Like I didn't expect him to sit. And he was like into it. He was like interested in it.
Do y'all have any like early memories of like watching like a film with your parents that was not meant for you and really enjoying it?
That describes my entire childhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair.
My dad, I mean, we've talked about this in the podcast in the past, but his policy was if it's a good movie. I mean, he showed me Manhunter when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it's good cinema. Yeah, you gotta educate yourself, you know? And like,
It is.
I mean,
It's
it is.
right.
it's terrifying to a child, but yeah, and I definitely don't murder
It's
people.
such a psychotic movie to show a child. That's
I
funny.
mean, I wasn't gonna kick him out if he's sitting there watching. I wasn't like,
no,
hey,
no, I
King,
know. I'm not.
come watch.
I'm not
Manhunter
judging.
with me.
It's great. It's great. It's
But
great stuff.
I did try to get him to watch Invaders from Mars the other night, and I was like, nah, don't watch this kid.
I remember
watch
watching
this.
Roman Polanski's Frantic with
Oh boy.
Harrison Ford when I was like 9 and being like,
How did you
enthralled
watch
by it.
Roman Polanski's Frantic when you were 4
My
and never watched The fucking Crow until 2 weeks ago? Oh, sorry. I guess I can't yell at you for that anymore, can I?
No, that's dead. That's gone now. That crow has sailed.
Wow. It certainly
That bird has flown.
Yeah, I think that's where you're going with it. So Manhunter, watch it now.
It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, oh, wow, chef's kiss.
Right. So it's my turn?
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is gonna work.
We'll do a long one tonight.
Okay. So I watched Manhunter with my child. And that kind of leads me into my next movie recap, which we're gonna have a guest to movie recap these for me. So I got my kid to watch a couple movies with me the other night. It was fantastic. We were sitting on the couch. I was like, "Ooh, Kung Fu Hustle. Let me put this on. Let me see if he likes this." And within the first 2 minutes, he was laughing his ass off and was totally in. I was like, "Hell yeah!" Because Kung Fu Hustle is fucking amazing. If you haven't seen it, folks, directed by Stephen Chow, who is like apparently he's like one of the biggest directors in the world because his films make just buku bucks internationally. He made Shaolin Soccer, but what he's most famous for here is the little doohickey called Kung Fu Hustle. Have you boys seen that movie? Have you seen the Kung Fu Hustle?
A long time ago.
I have seen it. I like it a lot.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. Right?
And I've seen a bunch of his movies, and they're all really fun.
They're all really good. All the ones I've seen, even the one with like little weird E.T. green alien type thingamajig. That was really cool too. So my kid watched.
You like that Kung Pao movie?
Yeah.
I was trying to piss you off, and that made you happy. Yeah. You like that Kung Pao?
What is the difference between an owl and the moon? My ass.
Shut Ripper.
That's on like Freddy Got Fingered level.
Oh, I watched that movie.
I want to watch Kung Pao with my kid.
No,
you should.
That goes in that category of movies I will never rewatch because the memory can never be topped in my mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So my kid's adorable, and he knows his father does this movie show where I review movies. So he wanted to record his own little reviews. So with your permission.
Oh, no, you don't have to ask my permission.
Okay. So here, let me put this right to the next to the mic. This is King's review of Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle. Child gets scammed, loses his life savings, $10, for a Buddhist palm Kung Fu tutorial booklet. Turns out he had 1 in a million Kung Fu powers, and the booklet helped awaken his powers. Also, his town, Pigsty Alley, has 5 secret other Kung Fu masters in it.
Now, Adam, are you sure that's your kid?
That's my kid.
Are you sure?
That's totally my kid. He looks just like me.
I'm glad that
adorable, right?
I'm glad that when if you're dead of cancer in the next few years,
yeah,
I still got a co-host.
Hey man, the Von Arndt blood is strong. I think strong enough to keep me going. So yeah, he loved it. He loved Kung Fu Hustle.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is his mind for movies as wrapped as your mind is for remembering film?
I don't know. I can't expect that on anybody. I can't expect anybody else to look at a piece of paper and read anything as fantastically as I do, and I can't expect them to remember bullshit movies like I do either.
That's fair.
It's a gift.
You
it's
set
a curse.
a high bar.
Yeah. If he does, I mean, I'll tell you this: he's getting a very wide range of movies that he's gotten to see.
Yeah.
You know. So there's that. So yeah, we watched Kung Fu Hustle, and it was amazing. And then later that night, we watched another movie, which is something that I didn't think he would sit through either. A little movie called Rubber. I think it was 2009's Rubber. You ever seen Rubber, Bobby?
Yeah, I saw it in 2009.
You should watch it again. I mean, really, guys, it's a deep philosophical movie. It is, dude. It's crazy. Okay, so here's what Rubber's about, right?
I wasn't that smart in 2009.
You've got
or now
2010. Were you smarter in 2010? I don't know. So there's like this tire, and this tire's rolling around of its own volition. It's like alive, right? And so I guess it's a movie, but there's like 20 people out in the wilderness, and they're like, some guy comes up like, "Oh, here's your binoculars so you can watch the movie, the tire." That
it's a film within a film.
It's a film within a film, and the people that are watching it are sitting there with binoculars watching the whole thing, right? And so they don't feed them, and they leave them out there for like, I don't know, days on end. And finally, they give those people a turkey, and they eat the turkey, and they all die because the fucking turkey was poisoned. Like, there's guys behind the scenes putting on this showing of this tire. And the tire, mind you, is running around, just rolling around and blowing people's heads up and blowing up everything, just killing stuff. It's a killer, psychotic tire, right? Mm-hmm. Falls in love with
Rubber is the name of this movie.
Rubber. Falls in love with some French broad and starts following her around, just killing people along the way. It's insane. And while that's happening, There's people watching it with glasses, with binoculars. It's really hard.
It's very meta.
It's French. It's very French. It's a French guy.
Yeah.
On the
French guy.
Yeah, French are known for film within a film.
Quentin Dupleix. If I'm saying that,
that
right.
is definitely how you pronounce it.
No, I'm saying that right. I'm saying that right.
So in the power ranking of film within a film,
Gremlins 2.
is that a film? Yeah, I guess it is a film within a film, isn't it?
Just because of the Hulk Hogan scene?
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a film.
Yeah.
Anguish.
Yeah.
Anguish
Yeah.
is a great one.
Yeah.
Last Action Hero.
Mm.
Last Action Hero.
There is a really famous French one. I can't remember the name of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called Rubber.
Bingo.
Yeah. So I watched that with my kid, and he loved it, and he did a review of that one as well. So hold on for a second. This one's a little longer. Bear with us, folks.
My review for the movie Kung Fu Hustle. And my review for the movie Rubber is there is no reason for anything. Also, 20-ish people are watching a movie live and have not been fed in days, then are poisoned with a turkey, then they died. Womp womp. One old dude wasn't that hungry, so he kept watching the movie. Also, there was an evil tire with telekinetic powers who killed a glass ball, can, rabbit, crow, some dude, some motel maid, another dude, but in a Hawaiian shirt, like 30 people at a store, clean up on aisle 3, 2 police guys, then the not hungry old dude, then some other police dude shot the tire with a shotgun. The end. P.S. The tire was reincarnated as a tricycle with an army of tires.
He pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Sums up the
We
whole
just
movie.
released this episode as a review of
Rubber. Right. Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, it runs in the family, and I'm not going to be on this mortal coil for too long. So
No.
thankfully, I have a child.
Yeah.
Maybe more out there.
Like the round spinning tires of life.
Yes.
Waiting for something after that, but yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. So we're all gonna die. That's pretty much.
Yeah,
it.
I was like, are you reading him Nietzsche as well? Because he's like nothing matters and rubber is about blah blah blah.
No. So the movie starts out. With a cop.
It's actually that's the
line
okay.
in the movie.
All
Is
right.
the cop
I thought he was
says,
just slipping that existential crisis of a 12-year-old.
No. There's not existential dread in his 11 years yet. I fucking hope, right? But no, the movie begins with the guy saying, no reason. There's things happen for no reason.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah. So you should watch that movie. I mean, I can only imagine. Like, I think about the movies I saw when I was like 10 and 11, and they really stick with me. And I do a podcast now because of those fucking movies. And just think of the shit that I'm showing him. And it just makes me happy.
He'll have rubber for his whole life.
For his whole life. He's going to hold on to that for his whole life.
Excellent. Well,
Thanks, Tubi.
I watched a very famous movie set in one of my favorite genres.
Mhm.
Okay. That if I had seen it, I didn't remember, but it's one that I should have seen a long time ago. And I was expecting it to be like a Barbarella kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it actually is a very good movie.
Mhm.
One of my favorite genres, 70s sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
I watched
you love that.
1976's Logan's Run.
Oh, Logan's Run.
Now, Logan's Run stars the great Michael York
Michael York
of
Island of Dr. Moreau.
He was Basil in
Basil Exposition.
in Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah.
Like he played John the Baptist at one point.
In The Last Temptation of Christ?
No, it was
As a gay person, I'm
No,
required
Jesus.
to say he was in Cabaret.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Well, he's a
There
bad
you go.
motherfucker, and he's a very handsome young man in
Is he?
Logan's Run. Now, Logan's Run is about kind of a dystopian techno-fascist future where everyone lives at the mall,
Yeah.
and
It's a lovely mall of the 70s.
then they kind of like off people at the age of 30.
The age
to
of
keep
30, you
everything
get
harmonious and consistent.
Clocked out. And you think about that now. Just think about that whole concept. Because when I was a kid and I saw this, I was like, oh, shit. I mean, they're 30, they're done. Like, that's old. Now I'm like 40-something. I'm like, fuck. Would they kill you
I
off when
wish
you're
I
30?
lived in Logan's Run.
Right, I know. We'd be done. And people are like stupid up until they're 30.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of, and that's, so they have this whole society kind of baked into this weird mentality. And Michael York plays Logan of Logan's Run. And he kind of
he's
breaks the
Logan.
spell and realizes what's going on. And then he has to adventure through a series of 1960s Star Trek sets
Mm.
and find out the truth about humanity and then run back and liberate the shopping mall.
Does he do it? Does he succeed?
And you'll have to wait and find out.
You know, I remember that movie had tits in it.
It does.
It stood out
Yeah,
to me
everything's
as a
very
child.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm
whoa,
sure.
there's tits in this. I don't remember how it ended. I just remember that they killed him when they were 30 and there were tits. You know, I was just talking about Logan's Run the other day with a buddy of mine. I was like, you know, or he might have brought it up, that this is a movie that they could remake and nobody would be mad about. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they remade Logan's Run.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't fucking suck.
You know, it'd be cool is like a TV series of it or something.
Yeah. Logan's Run.
Like an HBO thing.
Logan's back and he's on the run. Logan's Run.
It would just be called Run.
Yeah.
But that's the Logan's Run TV show. It's called Run.
They just dropped Logan, you know. Didn't want to confuse it with Wolverine.
You know, it's for us. It's for people that know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd watch it. But yeah, what do you think of Logan's Run, Austin?
I hate to say this. When I saw it,
You didn't like the tits, did you? Didn't like the tits.
Not particularly.
I mean,
It helps.
I thought they were great.
I was neutral on it. No, I think the problem was I saw it right after watching like The Apple and Zardoz, which very much fall into that camp.
Yeah.
And not saying, you know, not to speak to the quality of The Apple specifically, but I think I was just so enamored with Zardoz that when I saw Logan's Run, I was like, Zardoz was better, but that's not a fair comparison.
Yeah.
So I need to revisit it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I remember hating Zardoz when I first saw it.
I know.
And I remember watching it again thinking, this is badass. Why was I hating on that? And I was like, I was just probably trying to be mean to Bobby.
But yeah, I recommend, that's probably what it was. I recommend Logan's Run. Don't watch it after watching The Apple or
Zardoz.
I've
still never seen The Apple. What a
I
goddamn
mean,
shame.
It's not it's not a good film. It's a great film.
That helps.
Meter your expectations.
Okay. Hey, you know, greatness isn't always good.
I bet Tubi has it.
Let's see.
I bet Tubi has it.
Adam's been on a real Tubi kick.
I've been on a real Tubi kick
Tubi's
recently,
got some
folks.
Great shit.
I can't do commercials.
You say that shit like you weren't raised on commercials, like you can't be bothered by commercials.
Yeah.
You know what you can
I have
do?
a higher standard of living now.
No, shut the fuck up. You look at your phone the whole time anyways. Well, you can just play a little game with yourself, Bobby, and only look at
And
your
jack
phone.
off every time a commercial comes on so you can finish.
Sure. If that's where you're going with that.
I thought that's what you're going to say.
I
Look on
didn't
your
bring the
phone.
Dune popcorn bucket,
I know.
guys.
You fucking suck, Austin. No, that's what I'm saying. You can just play on your phone during the commercial breaks on Tubi.
Also, it kind of captures that feel of watching a movie on like a Saturday morning where, you know, you did have to wait through the commercials, but it's just their selection is really good.
It's like all the shit they showed on Saturday afternoon when I was a kid that made me into the man I am
It's got to
today.
be just like really cheap licensed movie that are, you know, for people like us.
Yeah.
And then they just make ad revenue off
The Apple from 1980.
Yep.
1 hour, 26 minutes.
Yep.
it's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
You have to watch
I'll watch it.
All
I'll
right.
watch it. Wah, wah. So yeah, Tubi. Give us some fucking money, Rupert Murdoch. We'll talk about you
I
all
don't
day.
think it's Rupert Murdoch that owns Tubi, but maybe.
It's Fox Corporation.
Is it?
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, come on,
Rupert
Rupee.
Murdoch's a big, not for everyone Patreon subscriber.
He's kept this thing going the whole time. We are fed on Fox and Sons. All right. So what are we here to do? What are we talking about?
We're deep in the heart of audience recommendation month.
Yeah, we do it on a quarterly basis these days. Folks.
March.
We start it in January. We end it in March.
That's okay. We kind of took February off. We'll try to get back on track, folks. Don't worry.
I think we recorded 3 episodes on February and they just all got deleted.
they
or
got
something.
fucked up somehow. Yeah, it's very possible.
It happens.
But yeah, this is from longtime listener, longtime caller, person we've met in real life now, Cameron.
Yeah.
Recommended us watch The Crow since notoriously I had never seen it.
I mean, all of us kind of recommended you watch The Crow. Some of us more hatefully than others. But yeah, I'm glad that he put it in the proper channels to get Bobby to watch it, which was an audience recommendation.
Yeah, it's the only way I'll do it.
It's the only way we'll do it. Only took us 3 months.
Now, let me ask you this, Bobby.
Only took me a lifetime.
You like Dark City. Is that correct?
It's easily my favorite 90s sci-fi movie.
There you go. So what was the resistance to watching The Crow, given that it is directed by the
Wait,
same-
let me answer for him. I know what it's about.
What?
I know what it's about. I know it's about. I know
No,
it
that
happens.
wasn't my answer at all.
That was your
You don't
answer
fucking
to
know-
everything.
Don't fucking know me.
Uh-huh.
Shut the fuck up and let me answer the question.
I
I'm
know
sorry,
what it's
Austin.
about.
Can you ask one more time?
Given that you love Dark City so much, why did it take you so long to see The Crow?
It's an excellent question. I don't know. The Crow, when it came out, I was also pretty young when Dark City came out. Granted, I saw both of these movies obviously later in life, but The Crow just always seemed kind of like gothic and cunty to me. Like I figured it was good or whatever, but because of that, I was never in a hurry to track it down. Does that make sense?
If we didn't have The Crow, we wouldn't have Hot Topic. And if we didn't have Hot Topic, where would we be?
Where would we be, America?
We'd be shitting in a Dune popcorn bucket.
Instead of fucking them. You were born in like 84 or something, right?
Right.
So you were only like 10 years old when The Crow came out.
Right. Like I remember like it just wasn't for me at the time and I never got around to seeing it.
84.
So both y'all were 10-year-olds when this movie came out, right? So like it wasn't like a big thing. I was 14.
Right.
And those 4 years made all the difference in the world.
Totally,
Because I was totally into fucking Cure and Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, I saw The
and
Crow when it came out in the theater.
The theater.
Yeah.
Your parents took you, didn't they?
I don't remember if that would have been something it would have been to do, but I remember going to see it. And I think by that point I was so desensitized to violence that I didn't really realize how violent that movie actually is until we watched it again. And I was like, oh shit, this is not something a kid should have been watching.
Oh, well, my kid should be watching that shit.
Yeah.
I'd totally show that movie to my kid. It don't even have any tits in it. I mean, it has some ass, but still. Anyways, no. When this came out, like, well, here's the other thing too. Like, here's the mystique about all this. Like, think of the world like, you're a 14-year-old and like Kurt Cobain's dead and all that shit. And grunge is around and grunge is fucking dying at this point, right?
Yeah, just like Hangman's
joke.
Hangman's joke.
And then
went out with Mother Love Bone.
I mean, Brandon Lee wasn't like a big deal, but you knew who Brandon Lee was, right?
He was about to be.
Yeah, he
because
was
of The Crow.
He was on the course. I mean, Showdown in Little Tokyo too. He was on the course to being a big deal, and then this all happened. He fucking died, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to think about like, Robert Smith, fucking like dark eyeliner, like goth fucking emo
or
kid.
just think of Sting from the WCW.
Right. It's The Crow.
As
it's
the
fucking
Crow. The Crow
I mean, the
Sting.
movie, the guy died in making the movie and they still released it. I mean, if that's not the most gothy fucking thing you can think of. Like,
that's true.
Right. It's like Hot Topic. If Hot Topic were a movie, it'd be The Crow.
And that kind of goes back to why I was never in a big hurry to see it, to be honest.
I love Hot Topic. I mean, used to when it had the old cool logo.
Adam has a "Can't Sleep, Clowns Will Eat Me" shirt on right now.
I remember. Oh, a girl I had the biggest crush on had that shirt.
I'm actually wearing a Suspiria t-shirt from Paul Bearer Press.
What shirt is this from?
That's from Videodrome.
That is from Videodrome.
That's
Good eye.
fucking badass.
It is a good eye.
Has anyone ever noticed that and called it out?
One dude at a bar points at me and goes, "Videodrome," and I was like, that dude knows what's up.
Yeah.
I love moments like
Just
that.
like this dude. Yeah.
He knows what's up.
I know what's up. I know. What the fuck are we talking about?
Videodrome.
So anyways, The Crow, Brandon Lee died, right? And that'd be a pretty bad way to go. You think you're going to be a star. You're just there saying your lines, which really, it seems like a pretty easy gig to be an actor, but a lot of them end up shit like this. And then you get next thing, prop masters pops a hole in your lungs.
So I was watching a documentary about the making of The Crow, and apparently all the other cast members and crew members and all that were snorting tons of cocaine on set. And Brandon Lee, who's like he's like, I don't know if he was straight edge or whatever, but he was like
a health guy.
He was like a health
artist.
guy.
He's like a kung fu
So he's
master.
He's not going to do cocaine.
He's like, hey, like this isn't professional, and so just to bring up what you're saying, like, some of these people get really famous, their stars rising, they do too much blow and then they die because of
And
that.
others get blown
He's out
away.
there. Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
He said blows.
Now, did they give out casket popcorn buckets?
They didn't do that back then. It's like a little Eric Draven skull. Just stick your head in the top of it and eat away. No.
No, it's his body, and then there's like a little cavity where the bullet hole is.
We're gonna cut.
Okay.
This is
Hey,
the bullet holes from the real scenario.
You started
You
it.
started it.
I know. I'm sorry.
So yeah, the thing about The Crow is like this whole they reshot so much of it. So much of it.
They reshot so much of it.
Oh my god.
That wasn't even.
I heard it was just one.
It was just one. 15 holes they found in his body. No, they had to add scenes into the film that were not in the film before, mainly involving that little non-hot dog eating girl.
Yes, we'll talk about her in a moment, but it was fascinating to see all the footage that they had to splice in where it's clearly not Brandon Lee, to just pad out the rest of the movie, which, you know, the first time I saw it, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, I knew that happened, but it didn't register that, like, oh, that dude whose face is completely covered by the wig he's wearing is not Brandon
That's not
Lee.
Brandon Lee. Yeah.
Do you guys know what scene it was?
It was the one that he got shot in.
It was the one at the end where
Oh,
he
okay.
he confronts the drug dealers and
Yes,
they
yes.
all shoot at him. Yeah.
Was it that scene?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, why don't you go ahead and read the IMDb description of The Crow from 1994?
Yeah, 94. A man brutally murdered comes back to life as an undead avenger of his and his fiance's murder.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow can bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Victims, aren't we all?
'94's Brandon Lee
Starring.
and in a fairly starring role, Ernie Hudson.
Co-star. This would be a role that Ernie Hudson could have won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
I mean, at
Because
least a
that's what he
nomination.
is in this. He's a supporting actor.
It's
He's
definitely one of his bigger roles, I think.
Yeah, it's bigger than his role. You got more lines than Winston. More lines than Zedmore.
Yes.
Maybe in both of them put together.
Speaking of 90s rock bands, more
Yeah.
lines than Zedmore.
That sounds like a 90s rock band.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
More
at.
lines than Zedmore.
Opening for the Presidents of the United States of America.
Oh God.
You don't like the presidents of the United States of America?
I mean,
I love that record. That was 94. That's apropos to this
Oh.
conversation.
It was. This was the world of the
Let's set the
presidents of the
scene.
United States
Let's
of
set
America.
the scene. Let's take that segue. Let's set the scene. First of all, Austin, you were about to say something. Your thoughts on the presidents of the United States of America.
Well, that's generous to say I have thoughts on them.
You ever wanted to move to the country just to eat a lot of peaches?
I liked the Weird Al parody.
Gump.
Yeah.
Listened to that quite a few times.
Kurt Cobain was dead.
Fair enough. If anything, they gave us the Weird Al thing. So let's set the scene.
Guns N' Roses was basically dead.
Right.
Grunge was dying.
Grunge was dying.
Ska was beginning.
Grunge Light was real big around this time. So stuff like Candlebox and Collective Soul.
Oh, yeah. Collective Soul.
Bush.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
like,
around that time.
it was the post-grunge. And that's what the culture needed was a savior. It needed a messiah. It needed something to usher in an age of Hot Topic.
an age of new metal.
Yes, and what led that charge was the soundtrack-fueled action adventure. Main character fucking dies in the middle of the making of the movie. Epic, The Crow.
Yes.
Yeah, it changed the world.
Let's
Brought back goth
let's zoom in a little bit, Adam. I think you're probably the expert of all of us in the room on this.
I saw this in the theater by choice.
Set the goth scene in 1994.
Oh, I don't know.
We're past like Susie and Bauhaus and all that shit.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into like the industrial stuff gets thrown in there.
Ministry and Nine Inch Nails. It was industrial stuff, right? And I mean, there was
Downward Spiral was 94.
Yeah. I mean, people were listening to Skinny Puppy. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing. I was 1990
KMFDM.
KMFDM. Yep, big into KMFDM at the time. This is pre-Klebold and Harris. And Marilyn Manson was coming out around this time, right? I think Marilyn Manson's first album was then.
It was right thereafter.
94 was the year I moved to Brazil. I was in Brazil for 6 months in 1994.
Tudo bem.
So yeah. This movie, it really just kind of it gave way to Hot Topic, just infiltrating every mall and outlet center in America.
So you're saying this movie is the reason I owned a Dead Kennedy shirt in 10th grade?
Yes. There's nothing more goth than the main character who plays a character who dies and comes back to life from the dead, right?
And then dies in the movie.
Like, there is nothing more goth than that. I don't think.
I'm trying to think of other like this is like really one of the quintessential goth movies. I mean, obviously that statement is true. But I'm trying to think if there's anything more like
more gothy,
more
goth.
like when you think of goth,
The Hunger with David Bowie.
Yeah, but
the Bauhaus starts with the Bauhaus.
I know, but this is
Susan
like
Sarandon is so hot.
That movie's just like a European perfume commercial.
It kind of is, and I love it.
Like, oh, it's good.
It's okay.
It's Bowie as a vampire.
It's Bowie as a vampire.
It's passable.
He's
but yes, that's very goth.
Melts away.
But I don't think. I honestly, I don't think that the average Joe would jump to The Hunger if you're like, hey, what's a goth movie? I think The Crow is the go-to.
Yeah.
I mean,
The Crow 2.
The Crow 2, City of Angels.
Hellraiser 3.
Hellraiser. I mean, Hellraiser's a pretty goth movie.
That's true.
It's a very goth movie. I mean, I mean, goth people like horror movies. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
but that's like a later generation.
But that's kind of the novelty of like that's when it got kind of Hot Topic-y.
But that's a 1-2 punch because Nightmare Before Christmas was 93. This was 94, so it's a 1-2 punch. And then some ad executive saw that and went, we need a store the topic of conversation will be so hot that everyone will want to go to this store. What should we call it?
I don't know. They would have just called it The Crow. I think
that would have worked.
That was the working title.
That would have worked.
I think the Hot Topic predates The Crow happening. I think it like started in the 80s or something somewhere else. It just didn't. It didn't like really.
It didn't come into its own.
Skyrocket into popularity as a cultural zeitgeist.
So it's like,
until The Crow.
What came first, Hot Topic or The Crow?
Right? Yeah. It's like a chicken and an egg thing.
But to get more philosophical about
it's a crow and an egg.
It's a crow's egg.
Would Hot Topic
the crow's egg paradox?
Yeah, one of those.
Would Hot Topic have been as popular? Like, is it because of The Crow that Hot Topic is what we think of it to be?
Well,
now?
I think Kurt Cobain dying helped.
I think that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's what we're saying.
The Crow took it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
Yes, and like we say that in jest, but if you think about it, like that 90s archetype of like the cute goth girl.
Oh yeah.
She's wearing the Can't Sleep Clowns Will Eat Me shirt, or she's wearing a Crow shirt, or a KMFDM shirt.
Got it at Hot Topic.
You know, Soulfly, even Jinkos sometimes.
Okay, I had the Jinkos.
I know you did. I'm just describing your current wardrobe. The point is, we say this in jest, but I think it actually did. It was a major fuel in that, that culture, that Hot Topic mall punk thing.
Yeah. It really. There's a lot of kids running around dressed like the Crow after that. They're like, oh, how should I dress to piss off my parents? The Crow.
Yeah.
Mom, I get shot in a movie on accident. Is that what you want? I'll do it. They're threatening their parents to get crowed. Oh, yeah. So I was reading today some excerpt from some guy who wrote some book who worked with Brandon Lee on some other movie, was saying that what had happened. You want to know what happened?
I do want to know.
Here's what happened. He said the night before the accident, the second unit was doing some shots on a different set from the main set. There's a big close-up shot looking up the barrel of a gun. And the camera people were worried that the barrel might seem to be empty. So a slug or a dummy bullet, as they call it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where was Alec Baldwin during all of this?
pretty sure this is Alec Baldwin talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a film noir.
This is like him admitting to multiple murders at once. Yeah, quote Alec Baldwin here. So a dummy bullet was put in the barrel to keep light from getting through, so it didn't look empty, right? Well, when the second unit wrapped, the gun was put away for the night, and no one remembered to take out the slug.
Oh shit!
Now, when the first unit needed the gun the next day, it was taken out, and a blank charge was put in for a setup. But nobody from the first unit crew knew that the slug had been put in the night before.
That someone should have got fired.
So nobody checked. When the actor aimed the gun at Brandon, the blank went off and the slug discharged. Now, the slug hit Brandon a main artery in his abdomen.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Just because you accidentally get shot, you happen to die from it too. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're an actor shooting someone in a movie, you're not like actually focusing on trying to hit a certain.
Right. It's not you're not the police. You're not just shooting to kill. You know.
Yeah.
So the slug hit a main artery and he lost conscious almost immediately. Now, two things. One, the prop man or AD always looks down the barrel of the gun to see that it's clear. The prop man is obliged to show the director that the gun barrel is empty. Two, the actor with the gun is instructed to never aim the gun at the actor directly either.
Mm-hmm.
So the shot's always supposed to be off angle, and the lens, the shot, and the lens composition makes it look like the gun's aimed properly.
Right. So even if it is a blank,
right,
you're not supposed to.
Yeah, it shouldn't even be. I'm aiming the gun. Like
I think
this.
a lot of it is like CGI shit now too.
Oh yeah, because they're pussies.
But
except for Alec Baldwin production.
But I was gonna say that's kind of similar to what I've heard about the Alec Baldwin thing, is that he, like the armorer on set or whatever, would go practice at the shooting range like between takes and shit, and bring it back to the prop room or whatever, and they forgot to exchange it out.
Right.
That's the rumor, at least.
What, with the Alec Baldwin thing?
Yeah.
Well, in the Alec Baldwin thing, like this, what's weird about this is the actor got shot, right? Like the Alec Baldwin thing, like
director.
Yeah, it wasn't even aimed at a person, right?
Not the director. It was like the cinematographer.
Yeah. Somebody over there. It fucking went over there and shot him. So then now who was saying this? It wasn't Alec Baldwin was saying this. It was Dwight H. Little, who worked with Brandon Lee on Rapid Fire in the past. Another great movie we should watch.
So that's the official story.
That's what he says. This is just the story, the facts that he laid.
No, I've heard rumors of the Chinese mafia.
Oh, I mean, everybody's heard those rumors. Whether it's the Chinese mafia, whether it's just the international martial arts community, still angered at the passing of the secrets by his father onto the rest of the world.
They weren't happy about that. In
they
the
weren't
70s.
happy. They weren't happy. That's why they gave him a fucking poison aspirin. Somebody did.
It's brought so much joy into America.
What, Bruce Lee?
Yeah, just, kids in our culture practicing martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, but no need to kill Brandon Lee. We could have had The Crow too.
We could have had The Crow too, but with Brandon Lee in it. But also, would The Crow have been as big a movie?
I don't think so.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I saw it because I heard the rumors about it, and that was why I went to go see it. I was like, I gotta see it.
Right.
Because the thing I remember the most was like speculating on which scene it was, and
right. Yeah. Well, you were saying it was the scene.
Is there a
with
Cursed Films episode on The Crow?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, there is. Well, the other thing is there was like whole other like subplots. Like before we even get in the movie, I was talking about the hot dog girl earlier. But there's that, like they beefed up her role. Obviously Ernie Hudson.
They beefed up her role.
All beef fucking dogs.
Let's call her Frank.
So Frank. So there was a whole other scene with a ghost cowboy, a whole other subplot, right? Which was from the comic books, where there's like this ghost skeletal cowboy.
Sam Elliott in that movie.
Yeah,
Nick Cage movie.
Ghost Cowboy and Ghost Rider. It's Spirit of Vengeance. No, Sam Elliott wasn't in the second one. But anywho, there was a ghost cowboy in The Crow, right? And they had scenes filmed. You can like look up pictures of it. It looks badass. And it was Michael Berryman. Yes, good old creepy looking Michael Berryman from The Hills Have Eyes.
1978's voted Time Magazine's sexiest man alive.
Oh yeah, he was.
It was in Newsweek.
What, really?
Yeah, Michael Berryman. People magazine.
People magazine.
Sexiest man alive. Michael Berryman.
If you haven't looked up the pictures of Michael Berryman from The Crow, look for him. There's like video of it, and it's like a creepy ass skeletal scarecrow-looking cowboy thing.
So why did they cut it?
Because I guess they just didn't have enough film. Like, imagine there was supposed to be 4
It kind of looks
conversations.
like old Button Face from Nightbreed there.
Oh God, Nightbreed's so good. So they probably didn't have. They needed more Brandon Lee scenes.
They had to pat it out with the girl
Yeah,
unable to eat the hot dog.
yeah.
Which was just a hilarious joke in that movie.
Wait, do we know that to be true? Did they actually extend the little girls?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, the subplot of that little girl had really nothing to do with that movie.
I liked
it was
that.
to pat it out.
Well, it's but it showed like it was a way of showing that the Crow was like not just like he had a softer side, I guess. He maintained that level of humanity other than just being this vengeful spirit.
It can't rain all the time.
Right. And, I thought it was pretty cool when you learned that he has like morphine extraction.
All right.
powers.
You know what? You asked me a question, Bobby.
Oh,
I've been waiting all night for you to ask me just one goddamn question.
we're almost an hour and a half in.
Uh-huh.
Adam, what is 1994's The Crow about?
So The Crow is about the night before Halloween. It's called Devil's Night. And in this nondescript city, let's call it Detroit. It's called the post-RoboCop Detroit. There's this bad guys. There's a gang of bad guys. They set fires every night before Halloween called Devil's Night. They just burn shit up for fun. So they break into this one apartment complex. There's this social justice warrior broad who's like trying to stand up for people's rights, and her boyfriend live. And needless to say, they are brutally murdered and raped and killed, right? And that is why Ernie Hudson lost his job. So Ernie Hudson, let's get to Ernie Hudson.
Another great 90s band. Why Ernie Hudson lost his job.
More lines than Zedmore. So
It's like a road trip game now.
Ernie Hudson, flash forward a year, he's a beat cop, right? And he keeps having to put up with this non-hot dog eating little girl who's running around the streets because she don't got no friends because her only friends died a year ago in a house fire.
And her mom's not her friend.
Her mom's not her friend. Her mom's a junkie. So her mom's a junkie. And Ernie Hudson, he's just trying to do the good thing on the street, right? Feed kids hot dogs, right?
Mhm.
Stop crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he dug a little too deep into that case from a year before. So he's no longer a detective. He's now a beat cop. And then what happens,
Didn't
Bobby?
he shoot a kid or something?
Yeah, he shot 3
Or
of
was
them.
that Die Hard I'm thinking of?
No, that was Ving Rhames, Del Johnson.
I shot a kid.
It was Reginald Del Johnson.
Yeah.
We're referencing the little girl not being able to eat a hot dog because there's a running joke in the movie where she's trying to eat a hot dog and it's too big. But the thing is, like, the comedy of it just like doesn't work at all. But then on some weird level, it's not funny, but it's fascinating. It's like, why are they trying to make this incredibly stupid joke work?
Wait, was there a joke? I thought it was just a joke you made.
No, like the joke is that she can't eat the hot dog.
Yeah. It's kind of like Mystery Men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. It's got that same vibe
Oh,
where it's just
wow.
like she's like, oh,
And they just
oh
keep
no,
doubling
it's
down.
too big. Yeah, they keep
And it's
doubling
very like
down.
out of place. Yeah.
That's interesting. I guess I missed that.
That's
in
why
my
I kept
movie
making fun
recap.
of her in the Discord chat.
Well, she just doesn't, if you're going to put a girl in a movie, put a girl who knows how to work a hot dog.
Okay.
Take that,
All right.
take that as you would.
All
What?
right, Adam, that's
What?
enough of that.
What? Y'all set it up. So anywho, all this is happening. The point is this guy who got killed a year before comes back from the dead, hell-bent on vengeance. Y'all are just staring at me.
I'm
Well, I just
listening
had
to
a
you tell the story
realization.
of the Crow.
I had a realization.
What's that?
The Crow
Mhm.
is a zombie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a Jason Voorhees zombie.
He's not really a zombie.
He literally crawled
raises
out
from
of the
dead.
grave.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a zombie.
Zombies are rotting, right?
He's
They're
rocking.
they're in a state of decomposition.
He's like the Interview with the Vampire version of the zombie.
Listen, at one point, in multiple points, he gets shot. The bullet holes riddled through him. There's a scene where there's a hole in his hand, and it immediately closes and heals back up. Zombies don't do that, y'all. He's not a fucking zombie. He's some kind of mystical.
He's a celestial
he's a spirit of
of
vengeance.
vengeance.
Between two realms. He's caught between two realms. And
It's almost like he has some unfinished business before he can really die.
he's a revenge.
He's a revenge
He's
spirit.
a revenge ghost. He's a violent ghost of revenge.
Yes.
It's true. It's great.
So while we're on the topic, what kind of powers come with being a violent ghost of revenge?
Unkillability.
Mm-hmm.
100% unkillability. Like you could shoot holes in his head. If he was a zombie, you shoot him in the head, he'd die, right?
Fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
I retract my statement.
Top
Thank you.
Dollar, played by
The amazing and luscious-haired Michael Wincott.
yes.
He was great.
He always remind me of the third brother of the Guy Pearces and Val Kilmers of the world.
Yeah. He's like
he's kind of like a Billy Baldwin of those
if Val
guys.
Kilmer hadn't like gone on blue cheese binge.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
he would have looked
Adam,
like Michael
Jesus,
Wincott.
leave it alone. We're talking about The Crow from 1994, starring Michael Wincott and Brandon Lee. Now, Michael Wincott, there is a scene I was getting at. There's a scene where he's very cocky, like he's a crime boss.
He's a crime boss.
He's in a room full of his goons.
He's got swords. He's got
And-
a
he's got and
Asian
he just
sister.
kind of shrugs like, all right, just take care of this guy.
Yeah.
But little does he know that the Crow powers are you can't fucking kill this
You
guy.
can't kill him. No matter what you do, you can't kill him. He's not killable.
Because what if you didn't know? Like, obviously, he didn't know that he was an ethereal zombie that can't be killed.
Sure.
So, what if like a little gothic kid, a sexy gothic boy in a trench coat, walked into your gangster hideout in the city? You'd be like, "What the fuck is the Skinny Puppy concerts down the street? What are you doing here?"
Shoot this guy.
Yeah,
Shoot this.
but he did know.
Punk.
He did know. What other powers come with the Crow?
He's got like some brain pain power. He can touch your brain and make you feel the pain that he's. It's like Ghost Rider.
He's like a karmatic ghost.
That's like a Ghost Rider's that's totally a Ghost Rider power.
Yeah.
He's basically just a spirit of vengeance.
Yeah.
But Ghost Rider like burns people up in like hellfire, and the Crow like grabs ladies' arms and magically squeezes heroin out of them.
Yeah.
He does have a magical morphine remover power.
So it's funny you bring that up. His weapons of choice are basically anything he can get his hands on, but there's not a lot for a Lee family movie. There's not a lot of like kung fu type stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is. At the end, he
kicks a few times.
He does a lot of kicks. He does some somersaults and kicks.
I guess my point is it's not a kung fu. It's an action movie.
It's action. It's a 90s action movie. It's not a Bruce Lee movie. It's
Lots
not
of
your
stabbing, shooting, explosions.
Yeah, he kills people with a lot of different things. Like he blows people up. He stabs people. He injects them with drugs. He puts a bomb in their car. Oh, and listen, we gotta go over the cast real quick because the cast is so great. Michael Wincott, who we mentioned before, was in this, and he was in that movie Nope. He was in Nope recently. I was very happy to see him. Yeah,
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Prince of Thieves. He was a bad guy in that. And then we've got David Patrick Kelly, the guy from the Warriors that come out and play. He plays T-Bird in this movie. It's got fucking Tony Todd. It's got the Candyman himself plays Top Dollar's like #1 guy. It's got Joe Polito. Fucking Joe Polito.
Which we realized while watching that Joe Polito and Joe Ponciano are two different people.
I knew that Joe Polito.
I know, but we couldn't.
They don't even
we couldn't
remotely
match
look
which with what at the time.
You couldn't.
Well, I was asking you to help me, and you were like, "Shut up! I'm watching The Crow." I'm like, "Wait, was Joe Polito the guy that was in Memento?"
No.
And you're like,
No.
that's the guy that was in The Goonies."
Yeah, he was one of the Fratellis.
In The Matrix.
In The Matrix. He was
Joe Polito's in The Big Lebowski.
Yes. He's the guy in Miller's Crossing that says, always shave with a cold blade. You get a closer cut with a cold blade. I shave with a cold blade. Every time I shave, I'm fucking thinking of Joe Polito.
It's true.
Yeah. So he's in
a
it.
bacterial infection too.
He gets killed. He gets stabbed in the throat.
So we also got Anna Thompson from True Romance in this movie.
Yeah. She was a whore in the other one, and in this one, she's just a deadbeat junkie mother. So she got a lot of work in the 80s. I remember her from Unforgiven. She was a cut-up whore. She was the whore that got face slashed.
Typecast, violent whore roles.
Yeah, I mean, a girl can't catch a break. But hey, she got some roles. I hope she's doing well. She was great in the 90s. We loved you in the 90s, Anna. Fantastic stuff. So it's just your classic revenge movie. There's also the whole thing with like Michael Wincott has like a really super hot Asian sister.
Mika.
Yeah, that he fucks and then fucks other women to death with.
And it was his sister?
It was his sister.
Okay.
That's my father's daughter. He says that in one line.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, like, if this was like an adoptive sister or like
no, he
stepsister.
explains it to Joe Polito when Joe Polito's like, that's your sister. Oh, we shave with a cold plate.
I mean, if you're going to engage in incest, why not
Shylock.
make it be your half sister and she has to be really hot?
Yeah.
I'm not endorsing that idea. I'm just saying it's.
One thing I like about
I mean, like, why do you feel ashamed anymore? Like, that's all that porno is these days.
It's completely normalized.
I like the plot of this movie because it's so simple. Like so they kill him and his girlfriend. He comes back from the dead. and then he just starts murdering all the people who murdered him and
Yes.
his girlfriend.
Exactly.
And that is the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
There's like
Right.
no subtext to this movie unless the subtext is how to eat a hot dog. But like it's
Well-
just very straightforward, very simple, and like they just do it and do it well.
Then they had to add in the girl, though. There's like 30 minutes of that girl subplot.
Yeah.
And the only reason that's there is because Brandon Lee was dead. And then there's like another 10, 15 minutes of shots of Brandon Lee from behind, of just the crow, the back of the crow's head, you know? Like,
yeah, there's a scene where he's like breaking his guitar and he's in silhouette
Yeah.
against the city skyline. It's a great shot, but it's very clear. Like you don't see Brandon Lee's face, and like the guy's got like a big gangly wig on.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, that's
That's
not
probably
Brandon.
not Brandon.
Yeah.
That's probably not. But you know, anything today, like that movie, the Alec Baldwin, he just shot like a cinematographer, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't even release it. Like the star got shot,
I think they did end up releasing that movie.
and they still wait. Really?
I think so.
Oh, I want to watch that Alec Baldwin movie.
I'm not sure, to be honest, but I
Can
feel
I
like
rent it?
Yeah, I saw it, and in that scene, you just hear "ow."
That's how everyone reacts when they get shot.
Ow!
Like a little chipmunk.
I gotta see it. So while we're talking about the Crow, what are y'all's thoughts on the new Crow that they're releasing? The new Crow.
I was not aware. But
Oh.
I mean, the thing is, I've stopped paying attention. They're like, "We're making a new whatever," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
We're making a new. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. I'm like,
I'm not
okay.
going to let it ruin my day. And I feel like Skarsgård, it's kind of like we've seen this a million times. We've seen it with Heath Ledger's The Joker. We've seen it with Skarsgård as Pennywise.
He was great as Pennywise.
There's just those roles that we're always like, man, fuck this kid. Fuck this guy that's going to play this role that we know from back in the day. But it always ends up being fine, at least acceptable.
Every time.
Every time,
Every
right?
single time.
He said every time. Wow. Okay.
Total Recall, Colin Farrell.
The
A
fucking shut the
masterpiece.
fuck up. Listen, Colin Farrell, he redeemed himself by playing the Penguin. But
That was pretty good.
That was the only good thing in that fucking movie too, if we're gonna
I
be
like
honest.
But it was pretty. Yeah.
So they're making a new Crow, and people are bitching out because he looks more like Vanilla Ice than he looks like Brandon Lee from The Crow.
He doesn't look like Vanilla
Oh
Ice.
yeah, there's like he's like a big puffy jacket. Remember that movie like Cool as Ice? Like
Of
he
course.
looks like
I watched that last weekend.
he looks just like Cool as Ice, Vanilla Ice.
Does he drive like a crotch rocket?
I think so.
Awesome.
Like straight out of the
I'm
grave.
definitely gonna see
He's gonna
this
pull
movie.
a firewalker and just drive a motorcycle right out of the ground. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's playing top dollar. I don't know if they're gonna have T-Bird in it. Because what was cool about this movie as a kid to me was there's this whole gang and they all just get killed. And I always like the bad guys. It has cool bad guys and they all get killed.
Yeah.
And then the hero, guess what? The hero dies at the end. All right. They find out he's magically soul connected to the bird, so they kill the bird. Wham, bam, shiddly bam. Actually, I think it's because he kills all the people he was there to kill.
Yeah. The bird was his mission. Like that represented his
It was
drive,
he had
right?
like a magical bird that would fly him around to people to kill.
Yeah.
The bird's like, go over here, kill this guy.
That was like his sixth revenge synth
Mm-hmm,
was shown through that bird.
his crow sense.
But yeah, once you kill the drive, kill the bird, the guy's has no reason to be on Earth.
Right, yeah. Like
But-
top dollar, he killed all the guys,
but-
and top dollar he didn't have to kill top dollar, but top dollar's fucking with him.
I love things in this movie
Killed
that
himself.
are like if I were to think of a movie where they rip a steeple off of a church and use it as a broadsword, like The Crow is a perfect
It's a perfect example.
perfect film for that.
It really had that. It definitely had that. In it.
In that subgenre, it's one of the top. I love it.
I mean, and everybody bitching
Now
about
it
the
did
new.
have a Joker, Tim Burton Joker death that was done a million times.
Yeah,
in the early
pulled that
90s.
off. But it only been done like 50 times by
Temple
then.
of Doom, Ninja Turtles 3,
What, the falling off of the thing?
Die Hard.
RoboCop.
RoboCop,
They did that shit a lot.
greatest movie of all time.
That's a big thing.
That
you know?
did that shit a lot.
Yeah, it's
Same shot.
it's a good way to die. You know, I watched some movie recently, like 4 people, like that's how they died.
All in one shot.
No, one movie, like throughout the movie, like 4 different people fell off things.
I like in
Was Hey Man Nice Shot on the soundtrack?
No, it was a different song by them.
But they were. Was it Filter?
No. Filter was on the Crow 2 soundtrack. This
They
one-
probably didn't go with
This
Hey-
one did have Rage Against the Machine,
Oh.
and it had the second one had Korn. You would love that. And this one had Henry Rollins,
obviously.
and it had 9 Inch Nails and The Cure.
That does sound like a good sound.
It's a good fucking soundtrack.
Now, is it a Korn song that's like kind of a made for the soundtrack?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta check that out.
And so Filter
I've
was
never
on the
met a
second
Korn
one.
B-side I didn't like.
Filter's B-sides were great in the 90s too. They were like jamming. All their fucking soundtrack songs were the shit. And they made that second album with that like Take Your Picture bullshit. And I was like, fuck them. Fuck that. And now they're not even anywhere near relevant anymore. This is all like...
They're on tour with Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. Right?
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I want to go see Filter.
I already got a ticket.
Oh, why didn't you buy me a ticket? So anywho, The Crow. There'll be a lot of Crow fans at the Filter Rob Zombie concert. I'll promise you that much.
Alice Cooper.
I bet you'll see a Crow t-shirt or two. You know, would you think that Alice Cooper ripped off The Crow? Face paint.
Yes.
I think that, no, I mean, it is exactly Alice Cooper face paint for the most part.
Yeah, but you know, it's its own thing. He has kind of a Jack White thing going on. He has like the white. You know what he looks like? He looks like Sting.
He looks like Sting.
He looks like Sting.
The professional wrestler Sting.
Not from the Police.
You know, no, see, Sting came out after The Crow.
Mm-hmm.
That Crow thing, that was Sting. That was Sting ripping off The Crow.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
So what you're saying is that The Crow is solely responsible for Hot Topic.
Yep. Sting,
the wrestler, dressing like
also
the Crow.
The other wrestler,
Alice Cooper.
Wait, I don't think he did that one. But the other wrestler called Raven. Remember Raven?
Quote the Raven. I've met that guy.
The wrestler, right?
He was very overweight when I met him.
Yeah, and what did he dress like? The fucking Crow.
Yeah, he just dressed like a grungy douchebag.
Right, but why do you think his name was Raven?
He dressed like a Crow fan.
Yes, exactly. The Raven would never have existed if that wasn't the Crow.
You think that was a nod to the Crow?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
And there was Kidman. There was Horace.
Yeah, and there was Lodi. Remember Lodi?
Lodi.
Yeah.
Was Undertaker pre or
hey,
post?
I want my wrestling character to be named after a CCR song. Lodi. It's Lodi.
I think that the Undertaker predates the Crow.
Okay.
Undertaker was in the 80s, right?
Yeah, I don't know my wrestling at all. So.
Yeah, that was late 80s.
So the Bill Skarsgård Crow, he looks like Sting before Sting aped the Crow. Yeah.
It's taken me till this exact moment to realize you're not talking about Sting, the singer of the Police.
Wow.
We even pointed that out.
He doesn't know pro wrestling.
I don't know pro wrestling.
Oh, dude,
I
hold
was
on.
like,
Let's
what
get your
the fuck are you
reaction
guys
to.
talking about?
Let me ask you this.
Pull it up on the
Austin,
big screen, Bobby. Pull it up on the big screen.
Tell me if this was not inspired by the movie The Crow.
Oh, wow. I mean, no, that's just the Crow.
That's just
Right
the Crow.
there.
No, that's the Stinger, the Scorpion Deathlock.
Now look at Sting before that.
They even have a picture
Wait,
of
so
the
that
Crow
isn't-
when you
so-
Google
yeah,
it.
okay. I was like, that is.
Well, you put the Crow in you put
Well,
Sting.
if I put
the Crow.
Sting, it would have shown fucking
Police.
every breath you take.
Yeah. Put Sting, WCW.
Now this is before
Yeah.
The Crow.
Get rid of the T.
We'll
WCW.
do Blonde.
Yeah. Sting Blonde.
Sting Blonde. That
There
was
we
him
that
go.
was him before.
before.
And
yeah.
see, and that looks
Ah.
like the Crow now. That looks like Bill Skarsgård's Crow.
Kind
So
of.
are they doing like, okay, Sting,
Pull up a picture of Bill Skarsgård Crow and
they're-
tell me which Crow he looks more like. Which
they're-
Sting he looks more like.
they've already used the Sting from the 90s. So they're like, let's do Sting from the 80s.
Let's go back.
Because clearly the Crow and Sting are one and the same.
You always got to fear the Crow's sting.
I thought it was a missed opportunity that Brandon Lee couldn't fly.
That does not look like Sting.
It looks like Sting. He
No.
looks just like Sting.
He looks like a whiny goth kid.
He looks like Sting.
You want him to look like Sting. He looks like Sting.
Yeah.
When he's actually all crowed out.
Oh, is that what he looks like? That's a fake picture.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, it's a DeviantArt. You're right. Yeah, that'd be a
So, anywho, apparently the wrestler Sting and the character the Crow are inexplicably tied in a Ouroboros-like eating its own tail type of scenario traveling through the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, this could be the only constant in the universe.
I guess the $1 million question is, will you be seeing the new Crow starring Bill Skarsgård?
Yeah, I'll probably watch it. I mean, I'll watch it when it's streaming.
Your kid's going to want to go see it.
I doubt it.
You like that Jared Leto Morbius movie.
Yeah,
You're going to go see the new Crow.
I might. I mean, I did see the Jared Leto Morbius movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see that new Madam Web bullshit, though.
I watched Venom the other night.
It's pretty terrible,
For
right?
15 minutes.
It's fucking terrible.
Enough's enough.
It's dumb. It's fucking dumb.
Uh,
They should make a Venom horror movie. So for a while, I think it was that Adi Shankar guy, maybe.
Ravi
Anyways,
Shankar?
Yeah, they made a couple like shorts, like short films. They were unauthorized by Marvel, but they did a Tom Jane Punisher one where he just like straight up kills like all the guys in this laundromat. It's called like Dirty Laundry. It's fucking badass.
Wait. Not the old Thomas Jane one, but there's a new one.
This came out this is like new, like 15 years ago.
Oh.
But it's like a short.
It's not new anymore.
Not new. It's like a 15-minute short. It's just Tom Jane is the Punisher.
Okay.
Killing a bunch of fucking dudes in a laundromat. It's badass.
Okay.
Called Dirty Laundry. And they made another one that was
Is it officially licensed by the Punisher?
No, it's not. And they made another one where like the kid from True Blood and that Glory Hole movie, remember that
Sookie.
guy?
Oh yeah, J.K. Simmons.
No, not J.K. Simmons. The other guy, the guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
The guy from the Glory Hole movie.
The Werepanther guy.
Yeah, Werepanther. Dude. Yeah, him. Yeah.
Ugh.
So he plays Venom, right? And it's shot like Man Bites Dog. You know, there's like a documentary crew like follow him around.
Yeah.
And then he just like goes Venom and fucking kills people. It's fucked up. It's fucking cool. It's real cool. They should have done that. You should look those up.
The fan movies these days are probably better than what's coming out of the studio.
Oh yeah,
a lot of them are. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I don't have any faith in any Marvel movies. I hope Deadpool's good. Deadpool versus Wolverine. It should be badass. It sounds like it should.
I think we're gonna see a insanely good era of fan-made films if Hollywood keeps going in this direction.
They've been making the fan-made films have been happening forever.
I know, but I think they're gonna get more sophisticated and better looking. So. Well, ask me.
Hey, Bobby.
Ask me what I thought of The Crow from 1994.
What'd you think of The Crow from 1994, Bobby?
Oh, we didn't even. It was good. I liked it. I don't know why we had to watch it twice. Whenever we watched it the second time, I was like, oh yeah, I remember all this. We could have just recorded the episode.
Because you literally said I don't know what's going on. I need to watch it.
Yeah, you kind of pushed it out.
No, I know. I'm saying that once I started watching it again, I'm like, oh, this is just there's nothing more to this than this guy raises from the grave and goes on a revenge spree.
Yeah,
and that's what I was saying. It's a simple movie.
I assumed
done
I missed
well.
something.
It's like Red Lobster, simple yet good.
Just a shit ton of shrimp.
Yeah.
You know, if those shrimp that we had, if they didn't have shells, we would eat them a lot faster. If you gave me like 85, 90 shrimp, de-shelled,
yeah.
I will fucking eat
We gotta
all those.
put a speed limit on it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not fair to the shrimp.
Hey, you're right. I don't want to be bad for the seas. They got enough problems without me eating all the fucking shrimp.
You've been listening to Not For Everyone podcast. That was our glorious review of 1994's The Crow.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
You follow us on Instagram at Not For Everyone podcast. This was an interesting episode.
Thanks for stopping by, folks.
Thank you.
Going viral.
Fox and Sons.
Fox and Sons.